morning, everybody. It is 9 a.m. on August 23rd, 2022. Market's been doing some crazy things. I was on vacation with my family on Friday and Monday, and that should be an indicator going forward. When I go on vacation, the market does crazy stuff. So it always seems to happen when I go away. Um, so let's get into it. Let's look at our charts here. Give me 1 second. Alrighty. All right. So obviously, market's weak. Have a couple big selling days. Gap down from yesterday. We got the gap down. What I did is I went ahead and did a fib from the lows to the recent swing highs here, um, and drew a fib line. So now I'm going to gauge how far that this move can go back. And there's some important levels that I'm looking at. Okay, and I put them here. So just as the SPX, I'll go over every ETF and cash market index just to give everybody their levels that I'm looking at. Okay, so currently the 38.2% Fibonacci level lines up with the 100-day moving average and prior support here and here. So this could be a place where the market comes down and kind of like does this, and then we either go here or we go here. Just pointing that out. Okay, so I think that's a very key place that we might be headed. Okay, remember we have this consolidation here and here. So the move's been made. I mean, it can, like I said, it could go here and do this, but we got to see. I'm just pointing that out that this 4080 level is probably a destination if we continue to move farther. I don't see us just cracking that, but that's just what I'm seeing. So if you want to see that in the SPY, that level's 406.82 in the SPY. Okay, so that's a key level. We got the 100-day, like I said, support, and let's see if we can work ourselves down a 38.2% Fibonacci. Little thing on the Fibonacci, if we come down to 38.2, that's still a nice pullback, and that's if we bounce off that, that's a healthy pullback. Once we go down to the 50 and the 61.8, that's a different story. That becomes a little dangerous now for people who are bullish. Just to say that. So let's move over to the Nasdaq, the cash market, and the NDX. The level I have here is a little different, but here's my level. It's 128.04 in the NDX. Okay, we got the 100-day moving average. We have resistance here. Okay, we have support here, and we have close to it the 38.2 Fibonacci as well, retracement. So another key spot, right? Moving on to the Qs, just to give you those levels, right? Just because they don't relate like the SPX and SPY do. Okay, so here we go with these. We got 311.72 is the level, 100-day moving average, 38.2% Fibonacci, resistance, and support. So that's kind of where, like, say 311, 310 area, we could possibly move lower, and then we balance. Of course, there's Jackson Hole on Friday, so I'm not expecting huge things, but anything can happen in the markets, as we all know. One key thing I want to look at is very key. I've always talked about the 10-year yield, and this has been on a little bit of a tear, obviously. So this right here, move up, and that's why you see equities going down. This is inverse. Okay, so the yields right now are at 3.07. Higher we go, the more we can fall. Okay, so we got to see where the 10-year goes. That's really going to tell us, you know, what's going to happen in the markets. Okay. If you notice really quickly, this is a pretty cool thing to look at. The 10-year yield, when it peaked, see it peaked. It peaked on June 14th. Now think about that. The 10-year yield peaked June 14th. Okay. The low of the SPY or the SPX was put in on June 16th. So this kind of told you the story, right, of the bottom before the market actually bottomed. Because then on June 16th, the day the market bottomed, this fell off. Just point that out. I'm not saying this is a lock and step every time, but it's a good indication. Okay, it's a very good indication. So okay, let's go to the futures. Give me 1 second. Alrighty, let's see what we got going on in the futures. All right, so right now, again, in futures, you don't consider a gap down unless you're below the low or you're above the high of the RTH session. So right now we're close to the lows. Price is right here. Okay, what are we at? 41.34. All right, and what am I seeing in the market profile? Okay, so we're kind of balanced in the overnight. Okay, right now we're currently just barely holding on to the RT8 session. Okay, so we're still inside this session of yesterday. Okay, the most traded price of the last month is 41.40, so we're below that. So we're below this. We're below this. So below this in holding value would be bearish. Okay, these are just things I'm pointing out. Now, as far as what the volume profile looks in the overnight, okay, it's got kind of a bullish imbalance, which just means that the profile usually looks like this. Okay, what we have is heavy volume up top. Okay, some people call that a P. Maybe you know, I'm never gonna get. Never mind. Never mind what I was gonna say about that. So you could generally see most trade has happened overnight up here, right? So they're gonna be short. So everyone up here is short. Okay, understandable. We're going down. People are shorting, right? So that's a possibility to squeeze them. I mean, I'm not calling for a move to go rocket. Okay, I'm talking about a squeeze. I'm talking about intraday trade. So we have heavy volume here. We have the most traded price of the month here. Okay, this is definitely a place where we can just balance. Okay, that's one thing. So what I'm seeing right now is I don't see a lot happening today. I just don't. Two, look at the moves, right? We got a move down here, a move down here, a move down here, and now we're here, right? Market just doesn't move down every day like that. It's time to balance. Also got Jackson Hole on Friday, okay? So that's what I'm seeing. So possibly when I look at my intraday trades, I could possibly see us possibly maybe opening and just squeezing these shorts and maybe coming back down. Okay, I'll get into that. So that's what I see in the ES. Okay, let's go to the Nasdaq. All right, let's see what we have going on the Nasdaq. So Nasdaq is also within yesterday's range right here. Okay, still at the lows though, right? Kind of similar story to the ES. Shorts up here. Everybody's short. Okay, all this volume, people are shorting. Understandable right now, right? Understandable. Um, Looks like we came into a demand zone, popped out of it, right? So same scenario. I'm gonna say I'm not gonna keep repeating myself. So the same kind of thing I'm looking at in the Nasdaq. Shorts caught here, could possibly squeeze. Not looking for a huge move higher, but that could happen, right? Um, one thing I want to point out, okay, is this level before I went on vacation, this 13,300, I said would be the bull bear line for the NQ. All right, that's the most traded price of the last month. So we're well below that now. We're well below that. We broke it and we well below it. So win-win for the bears. Okay, I wanted to point that out. Okay, and keep in mind, I tracked the most traded price of the week, most traded price of the month, most traded price of the current year, and the most traded price of the year ago, from a year ago. Okay, those are very important levels for me, and you'll see why. So let's just go over to the futures charts, 60 to 1 hour charts. Give me one sec. Alrighty. Just go what I'm looking at, some key levels. Okay. I'm just looking at what the ES is doing. All right. So let's see what we got going. All right. As far as you could see, since I've missed out, there's a lot of supply zones that I've plotted. Okay. Obviously, because of the heavy selling, there's going to be a lot of supply zones. Okay. Here's the demand zone we popped into, caught a bid here, popped out of it, right? So just wanted to point those out. What I'm seeing here is we have an inverse head and shoulders pattern. So we got shoulder, left shoulder, a head, a right shoulder forming now, right? Necklines here. So these are all shorts lined up. It's kind of going what I was showing you in the market profile. So if we can break this, you expect some nice movement, and you got a key level right here. You got a like kind of like a double top here. That level is 41.65. That neckline level is about 41.53. So that's what I could possibly see happening. Okay. Now, that's really all I'm seeing right now, because I don't expect too many big moves today. So if we zoom out a little bit, I just want to show everybody what I was talking about my levels, right? And I talked at nauseum about my 41.22, this hot pink line here. I talked about that level for a long time. Okay. Now, where did price come to? When we came from price, this is why I love volume profile. Okay. I talked about this when we were hanging around it and balancing. I said moves come from balance, and then moves come back in balance and high volume nodes. What this is the most traded price of the year. Okay. And that's how the market works. We balance, we break out, we balance, we break out. And what I said is you can tell this by candlesticks, but just the volume profile just gives it to you right away. So I knew this is the most traded price of the year. I said we're going to have a big move down or up. We went up. We balanced up here, came back down, and where did we go? Where did we land? Right here. Most traded price of the year, 41.22, and we bounced. Okay. What I'm expecting till Jackson Hole is we don't violate this area and we balance. Quickly wanted to point that out, how great volume profile is. It will show you where the market probably is going to stop. Okay. High volume nodes, most traded prices, what they call them, and those are areas that are going to be magnets for the market. And we're going to make our next move either be here or here from this area. Jackson Hole is very important, right? All right, pointed that out. Let's move on. Move on to the Nasdaq. Nasdaq's very similar. No surprise here. Okay, shoulder, shoulder, head, neckline. If we break it, okay, we can possibly break that. And what's that level? Looking at 12951. Okay, not expecting much, but that could be a little squeeze. That could happen. All right, so that's it for the 60-minute futures. Now we can go into the zoomed in chart and I'll just plot what I'm seeing. Alrighty, give me 1 second here. Let's go over to the ES. All right, what do I got for today? What are we looking at? All right, here's the ES. Of course, this is yesterday's session. This is the overnight, right? Really quickly, I'd like to just show you guys the relative volume today. It's very good relative volume. Okay, we have 109%, 110% volume in ES, 114 in the Nasdaq, crude 94. So these are larger volumes than the last 20 days expected at this time period, which is why we're getting a nice range. Very nice range, okay, overnight. Just wanted to point that out. All right, back to the market profile. Okay, let's look. All right, so price is here, 41.36. We're in yesterday's range, okay? So my overall thesis will be balanced today. That's what I see happen, okay? I see balance. And I see some possible squeezing happen here. So let's go for that squeeze intraday play that I'm seeing. Okay, so we got a little bit of a wall here. This is the most traded price of the month. All right, so get over that. You get over that, then you can see the squeeze here happen. So what do I see happening? I could see us move down off the open, come up, kind of like maybe bounce around here, go higher, squeeze the shorts, attempt to go higher, fails, we come back here and we balance. That's scenario one. Okay, that's not a bull really. That's kind of like what I see happening. Okay, market's not going to go down, 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 down forever. All right, so let's go to a little bit of a bearish tone. Bearish tone, I think we could come up here, fail, revisit maybe this demand zone, pop back up, balance. That's what I see happening today. Pretty simple. Um, in the Nasdaq, same scenario. There's nothing that I'm going to say different. There's nothing. So, same thing. I'm just looking at we can maybe squeeze those shorts and then not much happens. All right. This market's going to wait for Friday. Um, that's pretty much all I got today. Good luck to everyone in trading today. Hopefully everyone has a good day. Please give me a like, subscribe, or comment of anything I said. I'll be happy to answer any questions now that I'm back. So good luck and everyone have a good day.